Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It's time.
Perfect.
Yo soy el cantante. Yo soy el cantante. Y canto la vida de risas y penas, de momentos malos y de cosas buenas. Vinieron a divertirse. What is going on, everybody? How's everyone doing? We are now live. What's up? This is another live edition of Steve's Kitchen here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. I hope all of you are having a good day. I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. How was your weekend, by the way? I can't hear you, but I hope it was a good one. For all your sakes, I hope it was a good one. For me, just going to the new house, seeing what's being done because they're still doing some remodeling and stuff like that. The plan is to be moved over there by the time the month ends. So that is the plan as we speak on that end. But outside of that, my weekend was chilled. It was a chilling weekend. It is starting to get cold out here in the Northeast. It is November the 10th, 2025. And I am already seeing, ladies and gentlemen, all the Christmas decorations all over people's houses. I'm already seeing people lighting up their houses with all these lights and inflatable stuff, and it's crazy. But I get it though. Everybody wants to be in the holiday spirit. You know what I mean? I just think it's too soon. Like November 1st, I started hearing like Christmas music, and again, you're in for a long ride. All right. But outside of that, I mean, look, it's November the 10th. We're already 10 days into November. I know Raw tonight is from Boston, Massachusetts. It's the beginning of the last time is now tournament as well. And there's even discussions. What's going on, Alan, by the way? The working man. What's going on, brother? I'm back from my long journey with Elias drifting. Oh, come on. You know. How have you been, Steve? You think Cena's winning the IC title tonight? He doesn't need it, in my humble opinion. Again, if you are already labeling him as the GOAT, why would he need the Intercontinental Championship? Why? I just don't understand. Man, this AEW thing with Nixon and Miranda not wanting to lose in 3 minutes is crazy. Did somebody say 3 minutes? Did somebody say 3 minutes? Nixon Newell told Tony she's a former WWE superstar. Tegan Knock, 3 minutes doesn't work for me, brother. Oh, dude, that'll work for me, dude. 3 minute don't work for me. It might work for some people, but be that as it may, outside of that, all the stuff that was going on with the new house, I'm just glad to be back here. I'm glad here to talk to you guys and all other stuff. Yeah, man, look, as far as like wrestling news goes, I mean, look, we're starting off the John Cena. The last time is now a tournament. Like you guys already know, they announced matches on Raw last week, right? And now, like, we're getting like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy as kick off to this tournament, right? for the most part. And then you had matches that was announced on SmackDown, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up and share with all your friends all over social media. Ways that you can support the channel and also becoming a channel member. Tonight on Raw, you do have Sheamus versus Nakamura in the tournament. And also you have on the other side, you have Damian Priest, who's from SmackDown, by the way. But I like this concept. Like, we're mixing and matching, just putting people all over the place for this opportunity to wrestle John Cena on Saturday night's main event. I think it's cool. It's Damian Priest versus Rusev. And also on the show, you have Stephanie McCurr defending the Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. So it looks like it could be a very, an improvement on Raw. Okay, an improvement on Raw. I know on SmackDown, like I mentioned, we'll get into that in a little bit. But it's crazy because that's happening, right? Blood and Guts is this Wednesday. And then, again, outside of that, not that many like wrestling, news. Of course, yes. How can I forget? And we'll get into it more as we talk about it later. Okada is returning to New Japan at Wrestle Kingdom. So it looks like I lost that prediction, right? Remember, I don't know how many of you remember this, but this was on the True Heel Heat Wrestle Kingdom. I want to say it was 2 years ago. I made this bold ass like prediction that Okada had one more Wrestle Kingdom in him, and then that was it. And everyone thought I was a fucking idiot. Everyone fucking was trying to fucking roast me and shit. Like, oh, that's dumb as fuck. It's ridiculous. And it looked like I was right. Like the year after you wrestled Bryan, and then that was it. Right? That was it. I'm like, you know what? I was right. But not so fast. Not so fast. We'll get into that in a little bit. We'll get into that as well. What we basically got people talking is the stuff that happened over the weekend. Regarding obviously Tegan. My bad. I'm sorry. Nixon Newell. I almost called her Tegan Knox, but you know what I mean, okay? And Miranda Alizé. What happened with them two on AEW Collision, but also regarding Ridge Holland. Now, for those of you who are probably not aware, Ridge Holland, there was a GoFundMe that was launched a couple of days ago, and it was by his mother. Yeah, his mom set up a GoFundMe for him. And wrestlers were donating all this money. By the way, I want to take this opportunity to once again welcome the new channel members that are welcome Brandon Brown. You became a new channel member. Welcome back. And of course, welcome back the working man as well. Alan, back from Holland. Welcome back, guys. We appreciate you guys. And if you guys want to be a channel member, all right, if you want to be a channel member, it's only $2.99 a month. $2.99 a month. Hit the join button. With the perks, again, you get to have your comment right on the air. Look, SAD is no longer the AEW Dynamite watch along. It's not that anymore. However, as a channel member, you get to watch wrestling with me and the gang. That means Raw, NXT, Dynamite. We get to watch as a family. We're not live or anything, but we're watching like a family. Okay? We get to watch wrestling together as a fucking family, and sometimes SmackDown. And if I'm not doing the watch along the PLE watch along, pay-per-view watch alongs on the True Heel Heat channel, we'll watch as a family here. Okay? As a family. But again, hit that join button if you want to become a channel member. It's only $2.99 a month, as always. But back to this whole Ridge Holland thing. Okay. So, as you guys know as well, he got hurt, right? He got hurt in a TNA ring while being under contract to WWE. And then it just so happened that WWE was like, yeah, we're not going to renew your contract. We're not going to renew your contract. And this led to Ridge Holland going on social media, venting out his frustration, right? To why, it upset him that WWE just did him dirty, right? Frustrated because he can't pay his mortgage and stuff like that. And it's understandable, okay? It's totally understandable. And then WWE, because of this, like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just let you go early. We'll let you leave early. We'll terminate you 9 days before your contract expires. So you won't be getting paid, right? Like, they'll cover the rehab, the surgery, what you want, all that. That's the bare minimum, right? To be fair, that's like the bare minimum, the least they can do, right? So because of all this, right? Again, you hear this, it sounds, yeah, it does definitely sound fucked up. It is, right? But then there was a GoFundMe that was launched by his mom. His mother launched a GoFundMe. Now, every wrestlers left and right were donating, like Chelsea Green, Omos, pledged a monthly pledge of $1,000. So $1,000 a month, GoFundMe would take money out of their checking account to donate to this charity for Ridge Holland. The goal was $60,000. So wrestlers left and right, like I mentioned. Also, I think Nick Jackson donated, Kyle Fletcher, Raj Desi, the former Jinder Mahal, and so on and so forth. So people were donating money to this GoFundMe, right? And again, it's very generous that they're doing this. Let me be clear. It's generous. You're supporting someone in a difficult time, right? See money. I donated $420. Brother, that is awesome that you did, man. My respect, brother. Respect for that. My man, you get, let me find it here. You get, where is that at? Where is that? You get a clap. There you go, buddy. You get a clap. So people were donating left and right. Good on them, right? Until yesterday, Ridge Holland went on Twitter. And you know those situations, but man, you know what? You really shouldn't have. You really, really shouldn't have, right? I'm sure we've all have faced at one point or another those types of encounters, right? So this is what he basically said in response. By the way, I'm sure you guys are seeing this in two different like if you're on YouTube, you can now stream on not only in the way that, if you're watching on a computer on your phone, but you can also watch it in portrait mode, by the way. But anyway, Ridge Holland posted this on his social media yesterday, and quote, by the way, his name is Luke Menzies. That's his real name, but Ridge Holland, WWE, whatever. This is what he wrote, and quote, Thank you all for the incredible support shown through the GoFundMe campaign. However, I want to clarify that I was not aware the page was going live and had no prior discussion with the family member who created it, that being his mom. I've since requested that no further donations be accepted, and this change should take effect within the next 24 hours. Once we figure out how to move forward and I recoup the amount donated, I will be donating said amount to charity. I sincerely apologize if the page caused any upset or offense. That was never the intention. Thank you for your understanding and kindness. Now, you read that, it's like, brother, you really shouldn't have. My man, you shouldn't have done that. Now, granted, brother, donate what you want. It's your social media. It is what it is. It is your social media. Do what you want. Mom's grifter, that's a swerve. I don't know about that. But my take is this, right? My man, you know damn well you knew about that GoFundMe. How do you go 4 days or so, right? And you were not aware of this? Like, you think about this, right? It's a pro wrestler's instinct in 2025. Tell me when I'm wrong. a lot of these wrestlers, because they cannot help themselves, will go on social media and search themselves. Come on. You mean to tell me that you've gone 4 or 5 days, whatever the case, however long it might have been, and you didn't go on social media to search yourself to see what's happening? You mean to tell me that your agent or manager, whatever the case, right, or someone within your inner circle didn't let you know, hey man, you're trending on the internet. Hey man, I'm pretty sure that you should be aware that there's a donation, there's a GoFundMe for you. You mean to tell me no one has told you this? Like, it just comes off so like, why? Chief writes here, I hope Rich keeps that money. The man needs it. I don't like how people guilt trip him over someone else asking for help for his family. It's hard time right now in this economy. I agree. It's a hard time all you want, but my take is, bro, how do you go 4 days and you're not aware of this? How is that even possible? You know what I mean? Like, you would have thought, hey, on day one, hey guys, don't donate. But look, and again, there's a lot of people who are on social media going off on this guy, calling him this, calling him that. It is what it is, to the point where Ridge Holland had to write this as a response to all this, right, on social media. And quote, I'm not donating the GoFundMe money. Once I am earning money and in a position to donate, I will donate to charity. This will be the money I earn, not the GoFundMe money. I am not a scammer. So now this whole idea, people believe he's a scammer. People believe that he knew about the GoFundMe, right? And he just got people's money into his pocket. Again, it's a difficult time, right? The holidays are coming up. There's still this government shutdown. People are not getting their groceries through EBTs and stuff like that. It's a difficult time. I am fully aware of that. Okay. But I just cannot sit here and believe that you're going to go 4, 5 days, whatever it might have been, and you weren't aware of this. That's the thing about it. And I know, like, Chelsea Green on her social media, promoted the GoFundMe, right? Trying to show support, which she has already which she is already as we speak. But then WWE, I'm pretty sure, told her, hey, take down that, that story, that tweet, whatever it might have been. Take it down. Again, I wish Ridge Holland the best. I really, really do. But this just doesn't paint him in a good light. It doesn't. It just makes things even worse. It's a head scratcher. It really, really is. Like, I know he did interviews today on Busted Open, and I think also TMZ Sports. So he's making the waves, right, and all that stuff. And again, it's a fucked up situation, right? He got hurt in a TNA ring against Moose. He got hurt, and then WWE is like, yeah, we're not going to renew your contract. To the point where it's like, yo, they were gonna cut him a while back, and he was willing to accept a pay cut to go to NXT as a demotion. And it's like, bro, it is what it is. But I do think, again, he'll bounce back from this. Again, if he really wants to do this again and wrestle, I'm sure the independent scene will be there waiting for him. But it's a real, like, head scratcher here, TKO got to pinch those pennies, LOL. Yeah. I hope Ridge learns from this experience and sets money aside for rainy days. Man's made too much over time to be in this position. Yeah, that's another thing too, because people were like, oh, but you are making WWE. You were in WWE. How come you didn't save your money? And that's, what? You can say whatever you want, but it's not what people always think, right? Because, yeah, I think, like, most people on the main roster make, like, what, $330,000 or some shit a year. And then you also got to factor in travel, food expense. If wrestler And I know Jinder Mahal brought this up regarding NXT talent and what they make and their expenses and stuff like that. But factor in, again, if you're a wrestler in WWE, you make this shitload of money. You got to factor in travel, right? Booking, airfare. And then you get to the city, car rental. You get their hotel, nutrition, right? A lot of these wrestlers are on meal prep, meal plans and stuff like that. Whether it's whether it's Factor or Eat Clean Bro, whatever it may be, right? So all these stuff, right? And then factor in wrestlers might have families, right? They got a house, mortgage, rent. Kid wants a PS5. Not as easy as you think it is. Ridge is a former pro rugby player, so I can't imagine he's destitute. Can't imagine it either. Cannot imagine it either. But hopefully he bounces back and he gets his stuff together. Again, he seems like a good guy, okay? Y'all may think I'm trying to bash him, and that's not really my intent. I'm just going based off my observation for the most part. But let's move on. Let's move on here. Let's talk about also what happened this past Friday on SmackDown. They did announce the 2 matches that will be on SmackDown this Friday as part of the Last Time Is Now tournament. So you're going to have this Friday on SmackDown, The Miz going one-on-one with Jey Uso. Main event, Jey Uso on SmackDown. And then also you have LA Knight, but he has a surprise opponent. Like they did this whole thing where, Nick Aldis was picking the participants out of a tumbler, right? And he picks the name out. He looks at it. He's like, I'm going to keep this one as a secret. You'll find out next Friday. So we're going to find out next Friday who it is. People were speculating maybe Joe Henry, maybe Matt Cardona, right? Maybe Kevin Federline. I don't fucking know, right? Maybe Rob Van Dam. I do imagine if it's Kevin fucking Federline, bro. K-Fed going to SmackDown. I'm just saying. It's very possible. Very possible. But I think honestly it might just be Matt Cardona. It just might be Matt Cardona, but we'll see what happens there. Also on SmackDown this past Friday, we saw the debut, I guess you want to say, the main roster call-up officially now of Lash Legend. Lash Legend showed up during a Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax match where the match itself, it was fine for what it was, but Lash Legend showed up and she laid out Alexa Bliss. And early in the night, you also had Jade Cargill had a little exchange there with Charlotte Flair. I know she's having a match this Friday against B-Fab, right? So we'll see how that goes. But I'm happy for Lash Legend. They got to start calling up people though from NXT though. They got to start calling up people like Tony D'Angelo, right? Trick Williams, long overdue in my opinion. Obafemi's another one, right? Some people would say bring up Ricky Saints, but I think honestly keep him there just a little bit longer. You know what? I'd rather than bring up Ethan Page before Ricky Saints. That's just me, okay? Has anyone seen the NXT spot where Lash caught and power lifted Otis? She got crazy things. She did. I did see that. That was a couple of years ago when she was part of the Metaphor. So yeah, but good for Lash Legend. Hopefully things go well, and all that stuff, and we'll see where things go. But also, it was announced. This early Saturday morning. This news broke out. I was at work when this news was announced. Over there in Japan, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it was announced. Well, we saw the return of the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. He has returned to New Japan, and he will be officially the final opponent for Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th, which falls on a Sunday, by the way. It falls on a Sunday, but there's the graphic. It is going down Wrestle Kingdom 20. And it will be Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada. Brother, it was the only way to go. The only option. No one else. Oh, it had to have been Okada. I know people were saying also Nakamura, right? But that is huge because, again, you think about it, right? Arguably his best rival, right, is the equivalent to John Cena's longtime best rival, Randy Orton. But the difference is the Okada and Tanahashi matches are better than Randy Orton's, right, than in Cena's. So, but that being said, we're getting this again. They're going to go out there at Tokyo Dome, play the hits. Because let's be honest, man, Okada, in AEW, he's been chilling. And I'm not saying, chilling in a bad way. Like he's just chilling in the background, right? He'll have his moments here and there with these funny lines, right? I am enjoying the Okada versus Takeshita story that we're seeing. One of the highlights of AEW, in my humble opinion. But we saw Okada show up, right? And he showed up with Gato, right? He walked out there with Gato, right? And I know there was a press conference, right? There was a press conference where Okada said, we are the real main event. That fans should vote. So they've done this before a couple of years ago. I don't know how many of y'all remember when it was Okada and Tetsuya Naito versus Nakamura and Tanahashi, where you had to vote, right? Will be the main event. And everyone voted for Tanahashi versus Nakamura. So now you're going to probably have the option to, I don't know if they're going to make that official or not, but Okada wants people to vote between what should be the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Do you go with, just like the old days, you go with Okada versus Tanahashi, closing the dome? Or do you go with the new thing in New Japan? That is, oh my goodness, Yota Tsuji versus Konosuke Takeshita for the IWGP title. You make a choice, right? I'll be honest, for nostalgia, let Okada and Tanahashi close. But then again, it's like, oh, but they're the old New Japan. This is not the now, but it is what it is, okay? For me, look, it's gonna be crazy to see them go out there in the Tokyo Dome. I know like they've sold already over 30,000 tickets or so. So, and it's also gonna be on TV in Japan, to my understanding. And it's on a Sunday. It's on a Sunday, so I don't have to. I might stay up, watch. We'll see. But good for them, man. Good for them. It's going to be crazy. We also know, on the AEW side, before we get to the story, we found out, who will get the advantage in the blood and guts matches. So on the women's side, it will be the team Mercedes Moné, along with Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, Tekla, and the Triangle of Man. Obviously, Sky Blue and Julia Hart, the Triangle of Madness, they will have the team advantage in their blood and guts match against the team of Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale, Queen Aminata, Jamie Hayter, and Harley Cameron. And over on the men's side, it will be the team of Darby Allin and the conglomeration Roderick Strong getting the team advantage after Roderick Strong defeated Jon Moxley on Collision. With some, I think it was a count out, but still, he got the advantage for the team. They need to win. Like, this needs to be the end of the Death Riders after this, right? It has to be. Just has to be, right? You would think, right? If you guys have questions for me too, drop in your questions in the chat, all right? Drop in those questions. Yeah, Mox is still not taking those pins. No, he is not. He is not. All righty. Not putting anybody over. Nope, not putting anybody over. Let's get to what happened, right, over on Collision. So this caught everyone kind of by surprise because of who it was involved. So you were supposed to have a tag team match this past Saturday on Collision between Tay Mello and Anna Jay against a team of Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé. That was supposed to be the match. And then you hear on the new in wrestling news and on social media that there was a problem that went down. That is, and again, when you hear this, it's like, oh man, there's an altercation, because you're accustomed to hearing this, right? Whenever something happens in AEW backstage, you're used to like, okay, someone got into a fight. Who was it, right? No, it was nothing like that. It turns out that Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé walked out before bell time. They walked out, walked away. Now, when you hear this, right, you're like, oh, something definitely happened, right? So when I heard this, I'm like, yo, and again, I did it as a joke. I'm like, so AEW, so if you're the AEW sicko, the fan bit, the AEW fan, you're probably saying to yourself, man, we have Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out in 2022 at home. That's what we got. We got them at home, right? And then you hear what really happened, right? They walked out because they were not thrilled with only doing a 3-minute match. They were not thrilled with doing a match for only 3 minutes where they were going to lose after they lost their debut tag team match a couple of weeks ago. Now, keep in mind, Nixon Newell is not signed to AEW, nor Miranda Alizé. Now, you all may know Nixon Newell as the former Tegan Knox from WWE, which I like to consider a big what if. Because you remember, there were reports a while back that, Nixon Newell or Tegan Knox was going to be, the winner of the Mae Young Classic. She was supposed to be this and that, and then it didn't happen. It did not pan out like that, right? So you think, hey, you wouldn't expect this from someone like Nixon Newell, considering where she's been, what she's done, right? So you're shocked. But you find out because, yes, they didn't want to lose a match in 3 minutes, right? So again, the internet being what it is, we're already, on social media, giving their thoughts, what have you. And then it's funny enough because Miranda Alizé posted this on Twitter, I guess the day of or after it happened. We have so much to say. So it was reported again. They didn't want to, do a 3-minute match. They went backstage to talk. They went backstage to talk to producers, the person who booked the match, if they can get more time, right? Because again, you knew you were going to lose, but at least have some more time, what have you. And they're like, nah, you can't. The TV time is structured as it is, so no. So they're like, they walked out. And you finally hear their explanation to what happened. So keep in mind, remember this tweet. We have so much to say. That's from Miranda Alizé, right? We have so much to say. That is what that is what she wrote. We have so much to say, right? Remember this tweet, guys. This is from Miranda. We have so much to say. So when it was time for them to say so much to say, they went live on Twitch. Now, I'm aware when you go live on Twitch, most people do gameplay, right? They play the video game on Twitch, right? So remember, we have so much to say. Well, if I told you that Miranda did not move a muscle throughout this stream, she stayed like that, would you believe me? She stayed the entire time like that. Miranda Alizé, the entire stream, she stayed like that. But remember, we have so much to say. So Tegan Knox went to explain, right, that there's no bad blood. There's no hard feelings here. Everything's fine. They went to the agents, what have you, because again, they realized it would do them no benefit to lose in 3 minutes, right? And this is what I feel like, it has to be an ego thing. Now, look, I hear all this shit, and it's frustrating. It pisses me off because you just don't expect it to be from someone like Tegan Knox or Nixon Newell, whatever the fuck you want to call her. You don't expect that, right? Of all people. And I know there have been reports or something where she said that, she's been having a hard time finding bookings. We've been having a hard time. I can see why. So much to say, and Miranda was so quiet in the stream. Por eso, calladita nomás, como por la hueva. Calladita. They're enhancement talent, and they're getting paid to make their opponent look good. They're in no position to make demands. I get that, and I agree. But I think for someone like Nixon Newell, it's like, wait a minute, I've been places for so long. I've been at this for so long that they feel like they have to, but yet you forget that a lot of the women that are there, right? The Sky Blues, the Megan Baines, the fucking who else? Oh my goodness, the Julia Harts of the world, right? All these names, right? The Megan Baines, the Julia Harts, the Sky Blue, the Queen Aminata, the Willow Nightingales. I can go on. All these women started off in AEW as enhancement talents, right? Losing until they got signed, until they've earned it, and they started getting wins. That's how this works. That's how it works in AEW. I think that's like their initiation. And again, if you're a promoter, like think about this, right? If you're an indie promoter and you're seeing all this, you want to book them on your show? I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to book them on my show. And it's so unfortunate. It's so fucking unfortunate. Like, I see all this, right? And yeah, I'm like, and again, they brought in 2 chicks. Maya World, and I forgot the other woman's name, right? I apologize. I am not familiar with all these women, okay? I'm going to try to find out the name myself. In High-End, there you go. Maya World and High-End, right? They filled in, right? And they were given high praise and all this other stuff. And that's cool. It's cool that some people are going to take advantage of the opportunity. Because at the end of the day, whether you're given 3 minutes, whether you're given 25 minutes, or if you're given 60 seconds, it's an opportunity to be on television. So you make the best out of it. You make it work. Make it work for you. Find a way. And someone who's Nixon Newell, who's been a professional for so long, and you can't find a way, it's very fucking, it's so insulting. So insulting. It's disappointing. Because that's not what a professional does. And you know what's even frustrating, bro? Y'all want to know what's frustrating about all this shit? All this happens, and yet you got fucking Deonna Purrazzo and fucking Taya Valkyrie sitting in catering or part of Paywall of Honor. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What do we do? We couldn't give them TV time? It's fucking ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. Most of the women who work AEW Dark first then made their main roster debut in AEW. They hated to protect them. They have to protect themselves and their statuses. If you are just seen getting squashed without getting any of your shit in, our demand decreases greatly. Problem is, though, bro, when you refuse, when you don't want to do a job, it doesn't matter like how long you've been. If you're brought in as an enhancement, again, you're enhancement, right? So if you're being brought in to do a job and you're getting paid to do the job, you're going to do the job. That's how this works. People forget pro wrestling is a business. You get paid to do a job. You get paid to be a professional at the end of the day. Flat out. What they did was unprofessional. And they might have fucked their careers. They might have just fucked their own careers. And they have no one to blame but themselves at the end of the day. They have no one to blame but themselves. You know what this is too, bro? Because on Saturday, right, when all this happened, right, you see on your social media, right, you see this. We have so much to say. There's videos of them, I think it was Nixon Newell, pounding down beers. And again, do what you want. Do what you want. They were on a high. They thought that the community was going to back them and show them support. And then they realized that when the high came down the very next day and the news and the reports came out, what happened, that they were not going to get the support that they thought they were going to get. In reality, slapped them both in the face like a pimp wanting money. That's the reality. And then, this is from Miranda on her stories today, by the way. This is what she wrote on her Instagram story. The moment you start standing up for yourself, everything shifts. Suddenly, you're the problem. Not because you've changed, but because you are no longer letting them take advantage of you. They'll paint you as the villain. But that's okay because you're finally choosing yourself. This is where your freedom begins. Yeah, freedom begins. Freedom begins. When you girl boss too close to the sun. And what's sad is Nixon only has one more year left, and she don't. But brother, it looked like that year said, "Nah, we're good. We're good." These women do know they have work. They have worked extra hard for their reputation. Company don't like the non-team players. The Ridge Holland GoFundMe still gives me a laugh. It does. But I mean, it's just one of those things where how do you not know? Like, how do you not know that there was a GoFundMe made by your own mother? How do you not like vanity search yourself? Because I know these wrestlers, I said this moment early in the stream, there's a lot of wrestlers who I guarantee you vanity search themselves. They have to, right? Like they have to just see themselves and see what the fuck's being said. Because I know journalists do it. You know what I mean? I know these wrestling journalists do. By the way, shout out to Ozone. Amazing. But I digress. Guys, if you have questions for me, feel free to drop in your questions. Okay? Feel free to drop them in. Drop in any question that you have for me and all that other stuff. Wrestlers have the thinnest skin. Yeah, they do. Indeed, they do. Indeed, they fucking do. When you think about it, right? They absolutely do. And to that, I always say,
okay, enough of the sentimental bullshit.
Dom or Cena tonight, the fans. That's crazy because there were discussions that it was supposed to be a Survivor Series, but after seeing that Rey Mysterio, and all that stuff, kind of makes sense. Hey, they're in San Diego, right? They're in their hometown. Why not? Go for it. It should be fine for the most part. It should be father and son in their hometown. Why not? Who's one AEW guy you love to see get out, go somewhere else? Me, Powerhouse Hobbs. Kyle Fletcher. Another one I'm gonna throw at you, Chris Statlander. I'll throw one more in there. Konosuke Takeshita. But then again, Takeshita has 3 contracts. He has a contract with New Japan. He has a contract with DDT. He has a contract with AEW. So it's like he's everywhere already. Seeing his last time in Boston. Yeah, it is tonight. It's in Boston. And then his last night is next week. Then next week it's his last night at the Garden. It's funny enough, one of my coworkers was trying to sell me tickets, and I'm like, I can't go. I have work the very next day. I have to be at work at 4 a.m. So I really can't go. But it's okay though, because when you think about it, right? I've already did my contribution to the John Cena retirement tour. I was in Vegas to see number 17. Y'all can't take that away from me. I know the match was not the best. It sucked. But hey, I was there for the fucking moment, okay? I was there for SummerSlam where they made up for what the fuck they did in Vegas, Cena and Cody. So I was there for the 2 big moments of this retirement tour. For me, at least, right? So I was there when Cena won the title, and I was there when Cena lost the title. When you think about it, okay? So there's that. Do they give him the IC belt and then he loses in the final of the tournament? My thing is I said this earlier. I'll say it again. I don't think he needs the Intercontinental Championship. If we're already calling him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, then why the fuck are we going to put the Intercontinental Championship on him? Why? I'm good on that. To me, if Cena is going to retire, at least let him go out as a Grand Slam champion. But does he need it though? Like, think about it. Does he need it? Why is your coworker trying to get rid of those tickets? That's a moment you can't miss. Money. Hey, the money back. Like, put it this way, brother. I was supposed to go to Full Gear at the Prudential Center, but I'm not going anymore. I found out that I do have a family event that day. It's my grandmother's birthday. So the family's throwing some big party. So I won't be there at Prudential to watch the event, to be there live for the event. So there's that. It happens. It is what it is. He doesn't need the belt, but it'll be a huge pop in Boston. I think regardless whether he is the champion or not, it's going to be a pop. Like, bro, it's his hometown. He's going to get a big reaction regardless. They'll probably close the show. Look, if he closes the show, maybe, just maybe. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Just a heads up, guys, how this goes. Tomorrow will be the Raw Rundown. The Raw Rundown tomorrow here on the channel. How much is asking for? Is it cheaper than? How much is he asking for? Well, I think like $200, but you're sitting up there with Steve Borden. You're sitting, and I don't even know if he sold them already. I'd have to ask, but I think he probably already did. But I was in Boston earlier, not going to Cena last Raw. Boston just didn't want to get a hotel. It happens. Like, for me, like MSG, for me, it's just a train ride. I get off at New York Penn Station, and then MSG is right there. You know what I mean? So for me, that part is not an issue. But I have to be at work the following Tuesday at 4 a.m. So it's like, nah, I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. Outside of that, look, I'm just counting down the days. I will be moving in a couple of weeks to a new house. So there's that too. Being that I'm finally moving back into a house, I will be once again doing cooking videos. So it's like the return of Steve's Kitchen as well. It's like, funny enough, when I used to do cooking videos back in the day on this channel, I used to call it Steve's Kitchen or Cooking with Steve, whatever it was. But I'm about to call it something different. But I already have an idea of the first thing that I'm gonna do for the video. I kind of have an idea of what I'm gonna make, but the way it would go is probably you'll get 2 cooking videos a month. That's probably how it's gonna work. As far as cooking stuff goes, but that is the plan. Then there'll be videos and stuff like that. Sting seats are still almost $1,000 on Ticketmaster. Yeah, so you're basically up there with Steve Borden. Or if you want to be a big baller and throw the big money, you'll be sitting down there with Chris Benoit. You decide. You decide. But Raw tonight, it should be a good one. It should be a good one when it's all said and done. Again, you do have Cena in Boston. You have Nakamura and Sheamus going at it in the Last Time Is Now tournament. You're going to have also Rusev versus Damian Priest. It's Wepa time. It is Wepa time for sure. And then you're going to have Raquel Rodriguez versus Stephanie Vaquer going at it as well. I know also on SmackDown, it was Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre got involved and he got suspended. I know he's going out to film a movie. But hey, it felt like old times, right? Seeing Aleister Black or Malachi Black against Cody, right? It felt like old times again, for the most part. Also, I did also find funny you had Asuka dressed as a fucking nurse. And she spit the mist on both Charlotte and Alexa, but she clearly missed. Like Alexa Bliss. Also Gargano and Ilya Dragunov, fucking banger. Another one. These guys can't have a fucking bad match. They cannot. And of course, what are your thoughts on Julia getting jobbed out on Friday? Oh man, look, I know people are mad about it. Oh man, this is bullshit, man. They did her dirty. They fumbled her. And you know what? I can understand. Because she deserved better. Julia deserved way much better. Like, NXT Julia and main roster Julia are not the same Julia. They're not. No, they're not. I understand why she lost, because again, they're doing this thing where Ethan Page, who's a double champion, right? Because he is the North American champion, and he's one half of the AAA mixed tag team champions, while Chelsea Green is only holding the other half of the AAA mixed tag team titles. So you also wanted to make her double champion. So let's have her beat Julia, right? But the problem is you literally beat her in like 90 seconds. When you think about it, right? Let me just go back. Let me just check on the timing real quick. But that's literally what it was. When you look back on it, right? That's all it really was. Let me just go back here real quick. Let me go to my SmackDown thing here. Where is it at? Where is it at? Here we go. Damn, they gave cage matches given this show a 2.69. I shit you not. A 2.69 on this show. Where again, Chelsea Green defeated Julia in 90 seconds. So fucking unacceptable. Y'all. Disgusting. Fucking disgusting, y'all. But what do you expect? You know? But yeah, guys, that is basically it for me. But I will tell you guys this again. If you are a channel member, you get to watch Raw with me in a little bit. I'll post a link in the membership tier, and you can watch Monday Night Raw with me. Okay? But that's how we're doing it now, because SAD is no longer a watch along. It's back to being a review. So the way it goes is now you get to watch wrestling with me and as a family, you know, Raw, NXT, SmackDown when I'm available, Dynamite. So you'll watch Blood and Guts with me still. It's like we'll still do the watch along, but we're not live. We're watching like a family. And then whenever it's a pay-per-view or PLE, if I am not live on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, we'll watch like a family. Okay. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching. Much love to all of you. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel now. Hit that bell notification. Hit that follow button. You can follow me on X at Heel Steven. Follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. Thank you all for watching. All right. But that's going to be it for me. Much love to all of you. For myself, for the gang. Remember, we have so much to say. This has been Steve's Kitchen here on the Around the Point Network. Peace out, y'all.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.